To Glory is a team-based 2 to 4 player pirate manual dexterity game lasting 45 minutes. The goal of the game is to get as much treasure as you can from one end of the board to the other end of the board. You do this by sailing your ships and physically firing your ship's guns, which allow you to remove coins from the opposing team by hitting their ships. While doing this, you also use these battle tactics cards, which provide you with benefits to different actions in the game. They also provide you with events which you can use to control other players. A turn consists of 5 phases, first of which is the wind direction placement. The starting team will place this wind direction card in any orientation, and the colours on the card correspond to how fast a ship can move in any direction. So the card's placed in any orientation. The second phase of the turn is planning, where every team member will pick up their player mat and choose their ship's direction using the ship's wheel. The colours on this card correspond to the colours on the wind direction card. If the wind is fully behind your ship's sails and you're facing into the blue, that means you can take the full move here by moving your ship forward, turning, and then moving again, like this. Moving the ship forwards, turning, and moving it again. If, however, your ship is in a weaker wind, then you can only move as far as the green. So your ship would move forward and then turn, like this, moving forwards and then turning and leaving it at that. So that's the movement. The second thing that you do during the planning is setting your cannons to load or fire. Your cannons can fire every 2 turns, and they have to load in between that firing. So the third thing you do is setting your crew action. You can either roll out the guns, board, or make sail. If you choose make sail, you're maximizing your ship's movement capability, and you get a free extra turn or rotation at the beginning or the end of your move. You only get to fire once, however. If you choose boarding and you end your ship's move adjacent to another ship, you can try a boarding. So you take these boarding cards, you give 3 cards to the other player, and you both secretly choose a weapon on the top of the card. Then you reveal or compare your cards and find out if you lost, won, or draw. If you won, you get to take a coin from your opponent's port and put it onto your port. If you draw, then nothing happens, but you get to fight again. You get 3 goes at fighting. And you've got to be careful, because if you lose, then you lose all the coins you've won so far in the fight. So it's a push your luck strategy that, if you do it well, you can benefit quite well from. So that's boarding. The third action is roll out the guns, which maximizes your ship's firing capability. You can fire the cannons twice, and you get a bonus +1 hit if your ship is firing downwind, because the enemy's ship is being blown by the wind and the hull is rolling out of the water and making it more vulnerable. So the way firing works is this. Anytime during your move, you can stop and fire and then continue your move. So if I'm moving in this direction and then turning, I can stop here to fire, in which case I put the shield behind the opponent's ship, I take my pirate off, I put 3 cubes in my ship, and then I tap to fire the cannon. So that wasn't a very good shot, but I get 2 goes. I'll put the cubes in again, and I'll fire a bit harder this time. So that time I knocked the pirate off. And the way the scoring works is this. If you manage to hit the ship with any of your cubes, you score 1 point. If you knock the pirate off, either by hitting him with a cube or knocking the ship, then you score 2 points. If any of your cubes remain on the ship after firing, then that's an extra point per cube. So I knock the pirate off, which means I score 2 points. But I'm also firing downwind, which means I get a bonus +1, because I have my crew action of roll out the guns. So 2 + 1, I take 3 coins from the opponent's port and I put them back in the box. So that's planning, okay? And after planning, you have phase 3, which is initiative, where the team that didn't place the wind direction gets to choose which team will move a ship first. After that, you have phase 4, which is moving and firing or boarding, where starting with the team with initiative, all the ships take turns between teams, moving and taking their actions until all the ships have had their actions. Then, phase 5, you replace any battle tactics cards that have been used. Each team takes up to 2. The other cards in the game are these treasure cards. You can capture these cards by simply sailing over them. 2 of the cards are simply a coin, which you can place next to your port when you capture them. 2 others of these cards are the map and the key. Now, on their own, each of these is worth 2 coins, but if you capture both together, they're worth 6. So it pays to capture these 2 cards. You place them face up next to your port. But you've got to be careful because other players can take these cards from you. If they score hits, they can take 1 of these cards per hit. And if they board you and score wins during boarding, they can take 1 of these cards per win. So you've got to be careful not to lose those cards. And the only way that you can keep them at the end of the game is to get the ships with those cards into the ports on the other side of the board. The game ends when a team gets both of their ships in the port spaces on the other side of the board, at which point all of the coins are counted up on both sides and any valid cards which are still active, and the team with the highest score wins. That's to glory. I hope you like it, and thank you for watching.